I mean, OBS already running. Hello, are we back? I think so.
It says we're live now.
All right, well, let's see if we can get into this game. We'll be right back, see if we can figure this out. Hopefully, we'll be back with some Style Esports action. Here we go. We are finally onto the Rift after some spectator delays, and after that delay, we had to jump forward just a little bit in time. So, unfortunately, you and I both missed this beginning part of action. So now we are going to have to take a look at the game state, what's been going on, as we are finally on to game number 1 of the Shurima Division playoffs.
Yeah, so sorry about the technical issues, but hopefully everything will be resolved now. We are in game, and there has been some amount of action happening, including a bit of tussling in the top lane. Just before coming in, we had a 1v1 trade in the mid lane with Vongola going down in exchange for Dory on the dive. But overall, it looks like in this early game, still fairly even game state. Neither team coming out with a huge advantage right off the bat.
Yep, and that's kind of good to see. I mean, we talked a little bit about the scaling here in the pregame and what we were expecting to see from both of these squads. There is scaling on both sides here. However, I was hoping that maybe we'd see TDK early on finding some advantages, but Apex been holding strong, and even just 5 minutes in, a 600 gold lead already. Looks like no objectives taken quite yet on the map. The Dragon is still available, but like it's still very early on in this first match.
Yeah, and we have seen Dorwe make some moves around the map pretty proactively, roaming mid earlier, getting some vision in the jungle now, is losing a bit of EXP for it, but gaining a few things in for their team in exchange.
Yeah, and so I mean, this early game kind of playing out pretty standard. I like that Apex Wonders now is on to the bot lane. Looks level 3 now from Nautilus. That might be the target, but
Yeah,
nope,
both
Jin.
flashes available. Going on to Vendor is going to blow both summoner spells. Wondersy taking a bit of pressure in response, but everyone will get out just fine.
Yeah, that was great to see. I mean, at least you're going to get both summoners out from Vendor, so use Flash and how to use that cleanse. And that could be scary once level 6 comes through for Apex Parry, because once they get that chain of corruption, there's a lot of ability just to point and that towards Vendor and try to get the root CC. And even from burning those summoner spells, it's given them enough priority now to move on to this dragon.
Yep, looks like there is a contest coming in, though Dory walking up pretty aggressively. Looking in the area, Hook does land on Parry, and there goes the chain CC we're talking about. There's a stun from Vision of Empire, and Parry is going to go down. Smite Secure is going to go to Wonder Z, but now Shrisai is there on the backside, takes down the Maokai and chases straight on to the Victor. Mongola Fam is going to be under a little pressure, is going to flash away from the Jinru very well, but there's another stun coming in from the Poppy, and you've got to think Victor is about to fall down here.
Oh,
A nice charm, and it is going to be handed over to Shrisai. So the dragon is secured, but at the cost of a good number of kills going over to TDK.
yeah, I think a total of 3 kills, only losing 1 player from their own squad. TDK does win the fight, even though Apex secured that first Hextech Dragon. Those kills also going on to the correct targets. Shrisai with 3 kills now, completing their Everfrost. But Shen's want something to say about it. They want to fight of their own.
Yeah, ghosting at Dunk, and with that level 6 power spike on the Gwen, it's just so much damage coming down. Absolutely no problem chasing through the entirety of that long lane up there and securing their first solo for themselves.
Yep, that's great to pick up a solo kill, and Dunk did their best to dodge out of that situation, but it was too little and did not quite have it there with all of the snipping coming in. But now Dorby might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Wonder Z is looking for it. Dory's trying to run away as best as he can. Hook will be up soon, but looks like the Maokai chase is pretty effective, and
Yeah.
Vongolo Fam is going to pick up another one.
And that's showing some of the early boots prio from Maokai here. Already has picked up those Lucidity boots in their inventory. And so by having those, it's like not only do you get the cooldowns, but you get that extra speed. That was a Nautilus with tier 1 boots there. And like you just had enough lockdown just to keep on Wing on top of that champion, not let them escape. And Wonders was able to get that own kill. And I'm not quite sure why Nautilus was up there. That seemed a little bit strange from Dorwe to be running up through the top lane after a solo kill and Gwen wanted the reset. But I mean, hey, that's going to be some more gold into that tree's pocket.
Yeah, potentially maybe looking for a Herald play, but I am starting to get a little bit concerned with how much the Nautilus has been moving around. Is now going to be very behind on EXP. Perry is hitting this level 6, and remember, this is Vendor without any summoners and is going to fall prey to the chain of corruption. Spy on the chase does not get the stun for it, unfortunately. Needs one more auto to finish off Vendor, but is not going to get it for the moment.
Oh,
Flashes for it, and here comes the Cosmic Radiance. It's going to drop down just in time to protect Perry from that last tower shot.
wow. And I mean, Vendor tried to clear that wave originally by using the curtain call to get the shots down. But I mean, as we saw what happened, that is Jin without summoner spells, and that was Dorby out of lane once again. And so it just resulted in, unfortunately, another death. And Vendor's first of the game, and also the first kill over to Perry. So good play there. And now top lane trying to make another play happen here from Apex.
Yep, this Maokai lockdown looking awfully effective. Shins with the ulti to try and trade some damage
Oh,
back. Barely misses out on that R3. Could have potentially been a big difference maker, but it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade up top. But Shrisai on the backside as well. Vision of Empire hunting, looking for it. Where's the charm? Flashed away from. There's the final ulti charge. Does get it. Ari burns flash in response, but will be happy to take the kill. And this time is going to be Perry finding himself in a 1v2. Dory starts by taking up the tower. Is going to back off in time though, and Spy is now here to reinforce.
yeah, these teams are not afraid to fight here, Potato. Top, bot, everywhere you can think of. Wherever there are players, there are going to be some fights. I'm glad the first 4 minutes were not very eventful because these next 6, we've already seen a total of 12 additional kills since that start of the game.
Yeah, most certainly. And even earlier, I was going to express that, I had some concern about Vendor maybe dying on that level 6 timer, but looks like Apex way ahead of me. And looks like maybe way ahead of me again as Dory just gets evaporated from the ward in the bush.
Yeah, Dory, so far, 4 of the 7 kills that have been picked up from Apex were onto this Nautilus player. And I mean, this is a substitute player coming in for TDK Blue at this point in the playoffs and seems to be getting punished from the bot lane of Apex.
Yeah, fortunately, no Herald available to try and crack this bot tower. It is also 3 people moving down to cover any potential dive shenanigans coming through, but that will also give Victor some additional free time here in the mid lane.
And that's really what Victor wants. You're a scaling mid lane mage, and even though they don't have a completed mythic item like the Ari does, whoa, top lane.
Yeah, Shen's going down to
Oh,
1-tap levels of HP. Vongola was maybe looking for a roam earlier, but looks like instead we'll just go for the Herald. Dragon coming up in 20, but both teams
oh.
taking some time to establish on the map. Can they stay alive? Yup, Shen's was not caught window shopping there. Does get the little skip and slash out to safety there.
Yeah, both no teleport and a crashing wave. Shen's is forced between a rock and a hard place now. Forced to try to stay. Is going to be immune. Gets the snip, snip.
Yeah, maybe it's dumb
Wow.
between a rock and a hard place. That Gwyn ultimate is not to be disrespected. Neither is Shrisai's ultimate, it seems, as Mongola is going to just barely get
Oh.
out by the skin of their teeth there. And a flash hook from Dorwy trying to engage onto Spy, but a nice disengage from Terra coming out in response. Both mid laners forced out of the fight, but it is TDK arriving at Dragon first. Looks like they will give up the space, though, as we do have TP coming in from Victor.
Yeah, Dory used the flash there in that exchange, and Sky was fine. But take a look now at Vendor. Vendor has now survived after that one death to have both of their summoner spells up for this dragon fight. They are at a little bit of an item disadvantage now that we see Varus completing the Rage Blade, going for more of the attack speed build instead of lethality like we were thinking. But we'll have to see if that means that TDK wants to fight this, because Vendor is not nearly as strong as this Varus is at the second drag.
Yeah, Maokai and Victor ultis are not available just yet, though, so that could potentially be a difference maker. Vision of Empire sitting on the side, charging up that Poppy ultimate, does
Whoa!
knock away 3,
Oh
and
my!
that's the Dragon secure, easy as you please. Vision of Empire saying, get out of there, with the Keeper's verdict.
Man, Vision of Empire. We saw game number 1 in our last series, Potato, on Vision of Empire's Poppy. They delivered in that game, and they're delivering now. The 3-man Keeper's verdict to just yoink that dragon for themselves. A great play from this jungler there. You don't need no team. You can still take the objective.
I had a hammer and a dream, and that dream was fulfilled, securing that objective, making sure that both teams are going to be even on the dragon count. And there we go, some dueling in the top lane once again. And if we take stock of the game situation, right, still is going to be a slight gold advantage here over to Apex, especially with this first tower getting perilously low here. But some counter plays done really well by the TDK's players as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And now that we're at this 14-minute mark, plates are going to be falling, but Vendor might be too.
Yep, that's both summoners expended once again, and you know that Perry is going to be looking for just another arrow as soon as it comes back up with that down. But looks like they might not need to wait that long as Spy gets a nice stun onto Vendor. Here's the Rage Blade damage coming through. Low on mana though, and Dory does land the hook under tower. Perry is forced to flash away, and here comes the curtain call. One is all that's needed to take down Perry, but the fourth shot's going to come through nonetheless, and it's going to be donated straight over to the pockets of Shrisai. Looks like a great play at the start there, but Dory finds the hook, making up for his sins earlier, gets the 2-for-0 exchange.
It was really just a great bait there from Vendor. They were taking so much damage, and you saw the power of the Rage Blade, but Apex, Perry, and Spy unable to get the job done in the bot lane. So what looked like it could have been another devastating death for Vendor results in a kill in their pocket, a completed Storm Razor, a death onto both the bot laners, and TDK closing up this gold lead, looking for more mid.
Yep, Dory's going to look for another one. Wonder Z trying to come in on the sidelines. Can Vongola get away on 1 HP yet again? Looks like he is running for the moment, but here comes the TP in from Shins. That smash is going to disengage the Nautilus and pick up the kill, but Shins is taking tower shots here. Dunk is here on the backside as well. Everyone getting solo. A charm is going to keep Shrisai alive, barely dodging out of the shock blast. Everyone coming into this mid lane, but ultimately just going to be a 1-for-0 trade?
Yeah, 1-for-0. Dorwe once again going a little bit too far under the tower. And even though they committed the teleport to join, there just wasn't enough damage to finish Vongola, fam. And because of that, that hook under tower spelled the big on hook's death. So Nautilus does fall once again, did not quite have the depth charge off cooldown. Jin now, because of that play mid, is forced to play safely under tower. And now look at this. Both of the bot laner ultimates have their ults available. 2v2 is going to be pretty bad, but Shrisai's in the area, and so is Vision of Empire.
Yep, Perry, with all that free time, is able to get the tower. Spy is able to block the hook as well. And here comes the TP from Victor. Can they get the catch? The chains of corruption there do not keep the Nautilus locked down long enough, so it is going to be a clean disengage here. Dragon in 1.5 minutes means a lot of these resources will not be up for that fight again. Wonder Z also getting pulled down now for a proper 4v4 down here, but it looks like neither team willing to commit too hard to this play.
Yeah, 4 members in the bot side and still the solo lanes top on their own island on the other side of the world, it seems here at this point, just whacking away at each other. The CS nearly tied top lane. But look at this. Apex is looking for to hold this space, and now Vendor trying to open up with a curtain call.
Yep, Curtain Call is just going to provide some slows, doing minimal amounts of damage to these full HP targets. Dory and Shrisai going to be the targets here. The Nautilus ultimate trying to disengage, but forced to burn the flash to survive. Is going to live. Oh no, is not. Is going to go down to the Leandries is what I should be saying, as now Vision of Empire is going to get engaged on by Wonder Z. They're also having to get themselves straight out of dodge. Vendor trying to offer as much support as they can, but this gen unfortunately just not doing enough damage at the current moment to fully dissuade the enemies.
Yeah, and unfortunately a 6th death for Dorwe. Everyone else is out 1 or 2 or even 0. Vision of Empire yet to hit that gray screen. And when you're the solo frontline tank at this point in the game, you got to be the guy press and go and making it happen. But you know, it's hard because like you have to be engaging. You have to get onto these immobile carries with Victor and Varus, even Jace as well in these team fights. And I mean, you're going to be giving your life nearly fight after fight as that tank. And we'll have to see if Dorwe can make enough disruption with the depth charge to get the kills for their team. And because it's a hard place to be in as that solo frontline tank.
Yep, and Apex do have that absolute bot side control. I mean, just look at the vision around Dragon. So is going to secure their second very handily. But with Dunk moving down, that does mean Shins is able to get some free time up in the top lane, take down that tower in response, and it is going to be Herald going to be started up as a trade as well. So if they can get both of these, which they do, it's not too bad to give up for a second Dragon. Looks like Apex might be wanting to push in for this tier 2, start pressuring that one a little bit. It's going to be Vendor and Vision trying to hold it, and Apex do back off.
Yep, and now you just see this pressure from Apex, like you were talking about, Potato. Not only do they get the objective vision around this dragon with the wards, they're able to continue to push that vision line into this bottom quadrant of the map. With Baron not alive and the global understanding that the Herald was taken on the opposite angle, that gave the free opportunity for Apex to completely control this. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 wards down here, and that whole space is just siphoned off. Yeah, they're not able to get any inner towers off of it, but it gives so much information that should give a little bit of a rotation to the top side now, as Spy is going to reset, get more wards, and now try to sweep out all this vision that we've seen TDK Blue set up. So it looks like the Baron is going to be the next focus for Apex at this point in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Those wards looking like a stream of Christmas lights, a virtual constellation there in the bot side, offering them complete knowledge. But it does look like TDK is able to trade some vision here in the top side, starting to get the Baron control, which is coming up soon. So not too bad for them, although it looks like Vision of Empire might be in a little bit of trouble. Now is able to dash and jump away with that Poppy.
Yeah, now look at all of those wards now that Apex, Spy, and Wonders are walking over, sweeping even more defensively than I think they had to, but are going to find out at least the one ward. Some of these wards now expiring in the bot lane, like you were mentioning, and the fight now becomes around the neutral vision, right? We see a lot of these wards in the mid lane, around the river as well. Wonders and Spy respecting that the neutral space is still very contested right now. And with this Herald drop, they're trying to get a crash, but we'll see if Apex can take it down fast enough. Not quite, but now Wonders, that says that's the time to go.
Yep, there's the twisted advance, but there's the Poppy Hammer charging up again. Unfortunately, is going to charge up straight into the spell shield of Vongola Fam and Vision of Empire, now finding himself in a very sticky
Oh.
situation, completely dead to the CC chain. They're going to be advancing on this tower. Vendor already pretty low, Dunk on the side to try and offer some more poke. But fortunately, the wave clear still pretty good, so is able to hold for another wave. We'll see if the next wave will offer them enough pressure to crack this tower.
Yeah, and this is a response play after the Rift Herald was dropped, Potato. It looked like it was TDK Blue trying to push for the tower. They dropped the Herald, they got the outer, but after that pick on a Vision of Empire, it's going to be a response play. And now we're going to see Apex just able to completely counter push, and that's now the inner tower falling for Apex, and you're happy with that. That's going to accelerate this gold lead to over 4,000 now, only 21 minutes in this game.
Yep, 600 gold for each of those inners. Pretty substantial indeed. And we're also seeing some of this poke from the draft coming into play. I mean, sure, it might be an on-hit Varus. It might be a Jace that is a little behind in the current game state. But still, between that, the Victor lasers, and the piercing arrows coming on through, that's just still lots of health that's going to be consistently and slowly chipped away from the TDK roster at every one of these sieges.
Yeah, and it becomes even more challenging when you take a look at these support matchups because, like we talked about in Champ Select, they are tanky boys. But take a look at what Terex opted to go for. Helios is going to be the item mythic choice. This is new on this most recent patch, and it provides healing to the team on top of the healing and shields that the champion already has built in. Like, not only is the siege so oppressive, you have the sustain to be able to stay through these waves. As long as Terex hitting the minions, he's getting heals for the squad, and that ability and item that he's picked up is only going to continue to exacerbate the issue. And there is so minimal healing just through any kind of enchanter heal, so it's so little for TDK to be able to fight this out. And so they just got to be looking for a pick here and keep moving around as a death ball, see if they can find someone to grab.
Yeah, and typically to try and break a siege, we might see something like a TP play to try and catch a flank or an engage, but both of those have proven to
But
be
look
a
at this
real
flank.
difficult. Yup, Dunk coming in for the deep war TP in the Baron, as TDK are going to be the ones
Oh, they're
starting
gonna
it
be
up. And this
so
twisted
pinched.
advance also could provide such a big
Yep, here it
problem for their
is.
team. And yup, here it goes. The rest of the team close behind. It is going to be the Nautilus taking things up right away. Here comes the Taric OT, only going to drop down to Wonder Z, but the health bars are falling so rapidly
Perry's
on the
dead.
sides of TTK. Perry does go down. Mongola fam is taking a lot of pressure as well. Big shutdown going over the gym. 650 gold. The charm flashed away from by Wonder Z. The root missing from the gym,
Look at
but Dunk
Spy.
is on the hunt. He wants it. Spy with the flash stun is going to get it, and everyone commits. Absolutely no hesitation. Vision of Empire, the next one on their site, and the exhaust is going down to Bender. There's the stun. No cleanse available. No summoners available for this gen. That's a double kill going over to Dunk, and the rest of Apex are going to push through into the mid lane and take their third dragon.
Yeah, that might not be Darius, but this Dunk is showing that he is masters in that play with a massive flank angle, and the team played it so slow. Apexways Moonlight was able to be patient. After they lost Perry, they knew that the fight was more challenging, but they were waiting. They found the targets. Spy got the flash onto the priorities and were able to take the continued fight to them, claiming the second Mountain Dragon as their prize, and now they're on Soul Point.
Yeah, and I respect the attempt here from TDK trying to find a fight, force a fight there with the Baron, but Maokai lockdown just so potent with the
Oh,
team
yeah.
collapsing in from all angles. I mean, we did see in response two really good picks onto Mongola and Perry, with people kind of scattered all over. It becomes significantly